In Japan, where school children have found themselves at the centre of a diplomatic storm. Ministers have decided that from now on, school textbooks will clearly show certain islands as Japanese territory. To many, they may seem like remote rocks, but to Japan, China and South Korea, the various disputes over them are part of a decades-old struggle. A struggle that has just opened a new chapter. This report comes from Justin McCurry, Marie Linton, Guillaume Bression and Kiwa Wabayashi.
These Japanese junior high school students are learning about their country's territorial disputes with China and South Korea. But the children struggle to place the Senkaku and Takeshima Islands, as they're known in Japan, on the map.
I don't really know where the islands are, but I think they belong to Japan.
Like their colleagues at all junior and senior high schools, teachers at this private school in Tokyo have been given the guidelines which call for them to refer to the disputed territories as Japanese. It's the first time that teachers have been asked to refer to the Senkakus, which the Chinese call Diaoyu, as Japanese. The guidelines say the Takeshima islets were invaded by South Korea, where they're known as Dokdo. The guidelines won't officially go into effect until 2016, but teachers are already being encouraged to get the message across.
If the Takeshima issue was taken to the International Court of Justice, it would be clear that the islands belong to us. This is why South Korea refuses to take it to the court. I assume that when your new textbooks are ready, they'll be as specific about those islands as these materials I've given you.
This mother welcomes the move, calling it an important step towards Japan regaining its national pride.
I believe Japan should be more assertive about our islands when necessary. Japan is a beautiful country with delicious food. Children should be taught how great Japan is.
But the teaching profession is divided.
These revisions were rushed through and only reflect the position of the government. That is really problematic.
In another sign of heightened regional tensions, China and South Korea condemned the new guidelines as soon as they were announced. The Senkaku dispute has soured relations between Tokyo and Beijing for years, but Education Ministry officials appear unperturbed by the new round of name-calling.
It's important for children to learn the facts so they can discuss these issues with neighbouring countries. This is how we build genuine international understanding.
Some experts see the reforms as an attempt by Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to bolster Japan's presence on the international stage.
I think it's part of a general, what we could perhaps call a nationalist strategy on behalf of Prime Minister Abe. And in particular, I think Prime Minister Abe has a long history of being interested in instilling patriotic virtues into young people.
Since 2005, Japan has pushed its claims in its territorial row with South Korea by holding Takeshima Day. In Tokyo, right-wing activists demand that South Korea hand the islands back and hurl racist epithets at South Koreans in general. On the other side of the street, rival protesters denounce the right-wingers as racist.
No to discrimination.
The teaching guidelines are unveiled as Japan steps up attempts to rewrite accounts of its military conduct in Asia before and during the Second World War. On Takeshima Day, far-right activists deny the existence of comfort women, the name given to as many as 200,000 mostly Korean and Chinese women who were forced to work in frontline brothels until Japan's defeat in 1945.
There is nothing in history to prove that comfort women were sex slaves. In one report, even American soldiers said the women were nothing but ordinary prostitutes.
Disagreements over the comfort women risk inflicting more damage on Japan's international image. Abe's government has said it will re-examine an official apology issued to the women in 1993.
OK, well, let's give you a roundup of the latest sports news now, starting with the final preparations for tonight's Champions League matches.